The rain-slicked streets of Manhattan
belong to
gleamed
me
under the
now.
neon haze
There
of a
is nowhere
forgotten
left for
Friday
you
night.
to run.
And I, Timothy Hayes, had never felt more alive or more terrified. One glance across the crowded bar, and his eyes locked onto mine like a thunderclap in silence, pulling me into a dance of shadows and secrets I didn't know I craved. By morning, as his steady breath warmed my skin and his whispered promises lingered in the air, I bolted from that hotel room, heart pounding like a fugitive's, convinced that one night with a stranger named Elias couldn't rewrite the careful walls I'd built around my fractured soul. But fate, that cruel architect, had other blueprints. 3 weeks later, in the sterile glow of a Brooklyn clinic, the doctor's words hit like a freight train, pregnant. May, a 25-year-old graphic designer scraping by in a city that chewed up dreams and spat out dust carrying the child of an alpha whose last name I didn't even know. Panic clawed at my throat as I clutched the ultrasound photo, a tiny blur that mocked my unraveling control. I'd spent years hiding my Omega nature, suppressing the heats that branded me different in a world that preached acceptance but whispered judgment. My family back in rural Ohio had disowned me at 18 for daring to love a boy in high school. Friends in New York nodded sympathetically, but vanished when my suppressants failed and the truth seeped out. This baby, it was a grenade in my lap, forcing me to confront the man I'd buried under layers of denial. I couldn't stay. Not in this apartment with its peeling wallpaper and echoes of lonely nights. Not in a job where my boss eyed my episodes with thinly veiled suspicion. So I packed a single duffel bag sketchbooks, a few hoodies, the faded photo of my mom before she turned her back and bought a one-way ticket to Seattle. Rainy skies and fresh starts. Or so the brochures lied. As the cab rattled toward JFK, I pressed my forehead against the window, watching the skyline blur into regret. What kind of father would I make? The kind who ran, like I'd run from Elias's touch that dawn, from the way his fingers traced my scars like they were maps to treasure. The airport was a symphony of chaos, harried families, suited executives barking into phones, the metallic tang of coffee mingling with jet fuel. I shuffled through security, my boarding pass crumpled in my fist, each step a small surrender to the unknown. Gate C-17 loomed like a portal to reinvention, and I sank into a plastic chair, exhaustion pulling at my bones. The baby fluttered a whisper of life that both terrified and tethered me. I closed my eyes, imagining a future where I wasn't the punchline to my own tragedy, where Omega meant resilient, not ruined. Timothy. The voice sliced through the din like a blade, deep and resonant, laced with a desperation that mirrored my own buried ache. My eyes snapped open, and there he was, Elias, striding through the crowd like he'd been carved from the storm clouds gathering outside. His blue eyes, those piercing beacons from that night, scanned frantically until they found me, widening in shock and something fiercer, like recognition of a missing piece. He was taller than I remembered, his broad shoulders straining against a leather jacket dusted with rain, blonde hair tousled as if he'd driven through hell to get here. How? Why? My mouth went dry, words tangling in my throat as passengers parted around us like waves before a ship. Timothy Hayes, he repeated, softer now, dropping to one knee beside my chair, his hand hovering inches from mine as if afraid I'd shatter. Please, don't go. I've been searching everywhere. Your scent, it's been haunting me since you left. His voice cracked, raw with the vulnerability of a man who'd chased ghosts across burrows. I could smell him now, that earthy alpha musk blended with pine and resolve, stirring the Omega instincts I'd fought so hard to silence. The baby kicked again, a secret bridge between us, and for the first time, running felt like the coward's path. I pulled my hand away, but not before his fingers brushed mine electric. Familiar. How did you find me? I whispered, voice barely audible over the announcements. Around us, the world blurred, a mother soothing a crying toddler, a couple sharing earbuds, oblivious to the earthquake unfolding in aisle 12. Elias's gaze dropped to my lap, where the ultrasound peeked from my bag like an accusation. His breath hitched, eyes darkening with a storm of emotions: joy, fear, fierce protectiveness. I went back to the bar, talked to the bartender, tracked your freelance gigs online. God, Timothy. When I realized, he trailed off, swallowing hard, his Adam's apple bobbing like a man adrift. That night wasn't just a night for me. You felt it too, the bond. And now this. Our child. I won't let you face it alone. Tears pricked my eyes. Hot and unwelcome. Alone was all I'd known. The sting of my father's belt when he found my hidden journals. The hollow echo of my mother's silence at Thanksgiving. The parade of one-night stands that left me emptier than before. Elias, with his steady gaze and calloused hands that spoke of a life less guarded, represented everything I'd fled: intimacy, risk, the terrifying possibility of being seen. You don't know me, I choked out, clutching the armrest as if it could anchor me. I'm broken, Elias, an omega who can't even stand his own skin. What if I ruin this baby like my family ruined me? He reached for my hand again, this time not letting go when I trembled. His touch was fire and balm, grounding me in the chaos. Then we fix it together. Starting now. The boarding call crackled overhead, a final plea from the life I'd scripted in solitude. But as Elias's thumb traced circles on my knuckles, whispering promises of mornings without flight, I felt the first crack in my armor, a glimmer of the man I could become. Not in spite of my scars, but because of them. We didn't board that flight. Instead, we sat there, two strangers bound by one reckless night and a heartbeat neither of us had planned, unraveling our stories under the fluorescent hum. Elias told me first his name was Elias Grant, 28, a carpenter from Queens who'd lost his own father young. Learned early that alphas weren't invincible. I saw you across that bar, he said, voice low, not as an omega, but as Timothy, the guy sketching fireflies on a napkin, eyes holding galaxies. I laughed, a broken sound, and shared my fragments, the Ohio boy who dreamed of city lights, the coming out that shattered my world, the suppressants that bought time but stole joy. Hours bled into the night as we talked, the airport emptying around us like a stage after the curtain. Security eyed us warily, but Elias's quiet strength warded them off. By dawn, with my head on his shoulder and his arm a tentative shield around me, I confessed the fear that gnawed deepest, becoming my parents, teaching our child to hide. I want to be better, I murmured, hand drifting to my still flat belly. For them. For us. Elias nodded, pressing a kiss to my temple chaste. Reverent. Then let's build that. Brick by brick. We left JFK hand in hand, hailing a cab back to the city that had birthed our storm. My apartment felt less like a cage now, with Elias's tools cluttering the kitchen table as he fixed the leaky faucet I'd ignored for months. He didn't push, didn't demand. He simply stayed, cooking eggs with a precision that spoke of care, listening as I vented about freelance deadlines and the Omega support group I'd ghosted. Weeks turned to a fragile rhythm. Mornings began with his coffee brewing beside my tea, evenings with sketches of nursery ideas pinned to the fridge. But shadows lingered me. First ultrasound appointment loomed, a milestone laced with dread. What if the doctor saw through my facade? What if Elias bolted when reality hit? He didn't. In that dim exam room, as the wand revealed our baby's prophilia tiny nose, kicking defiantly, Elias's hand squeezed mine, tears mirroring my own. Look at that fighter, he whispered, awe cracking his voice. just like their dad. Yet doubt was a persistent thief. One night, as rain lashed the windows, I woke from a nightmare, my father's voice echoing, "You're no son of mine," and found Elias watching me, concern etching his face. "Talk to me," he urged, pulling me close. I spilled it all, the beatings, the exile, the years of therapy that patched but never healed. He held me through the sobs, his alpha presence a steady hum, not dominating but equalizing. "You're not that boy anymore," he said finally. "You're the man who chose to stay, who chose us." That vulnerability forged something deeper, a tentative trust, blooming like the wildflowers I'd once pressed in books. We explored the city anew, walks in Central Park where he'd spin me under autumn leaves, laughing as I sketched his profile against the reservoir. He introduced me to his crew, rough-edged carpenters who ribbed him mercilessly but clapped my back with genuine warmth. "Elias here's been mooning like a lovesick pup," one teased. And for the first time, I didn't flinch at the exposure. But growth demanded confrontation. "My family calling me sister." Voice tentative over the line, "Mom's asking about you. Says she's sorry." Lies. I knew. But the olive branch tugged. Elias encouraged the visit, driving us to Ohio in his battered truck. The baby's first road trip a blur of highways and heartbeats. The farmhouse loomed like a ghost, my father's glare unchanged. But my mother's eyes softened at the news. "A grandchild," she breathed, hand trembling toward my belly. Forgiveness wasn't instant. It was a stuttered apology, a shared meal where silences spoke volumes. Elias's presence steadied me. His quiet, "We're family now," to my dad a line in the sand. Back in New York, winter cloaked the city in silver, and with it came my heat and suppressed. Raw, a test of our fragile bond. I warned him, braced for flight. But he stayed, not as alpha but partner, cooling cloths and stories through the fever. In the aftermath, clearer-headed, I saw the shift, no longer running, but rooting. Our first Christmas, we strung lights in the apartment, the tree a spindly sentinel of hope. He carved a wooden omega symbol for the topper subtle, proud reminding me identity wasn't shame. Spring unfurled, and so did I. Freelance gigs turned to a steady contract, my designs infused with new life portraits of resilient souls, much like ours. Elias proposed on a rooftop at dusk, not with fanfare but a simple ring etched with fireflies. "Build a life with me, Timothy." All of it. Tears blurred the yes, sealed with a kiss that tasted of forever. Labor came fierce in summer's heat. 20 hours of grit and grace in a Manhattan hospital. Elias never left my side. Coaching breaths, cursing doctors, his hand bruised from my grip. And then our son, Liam, wailing into the world with Elias's blue eyes and my dark curls. In that moment, exhaustion yielding to ecstasy, I understood love wasn't absence of fear, but courage amid it. We'd run once, but now we ran toward each other, toward this messy, miraculous now. Years later, as Liam toddled through our Queens brownstone, chasing fireflies in the yard Elias had built, I watched from the porch, sketchpad idle. Scars faded, but stories endured, ours a testament to the alphas and omegas who dared connect, who chose humanity over hiding. In the heart of America, where dreams clashed with doubts, we'd carved a home. And in Liam's laughter, echoing like that first thunderclap, I heard the hook that pulled us back, not fate's cruelty, but its quiet, redemptive call. The first months with Liam were a whirlwind of wonder and weariness, a tapestry woven from sleepless nights and sunlit revelations. Elias and I traded shifts like sentinels, sketching logos by dawn's light while he rocked our son in the creaky glider, his baritone hums of old folk tunes lulling Liam to dreams. I'd catch them there, father and child silhouetted against the nursery window, and my heart would swell with a fullness I'd once deemed impossible. "Look at you two," I'd whisper, slipping in to press a kiss to Elias's temple, inhaling the mingled scents of baby powder and sawdust that defined our home. Yet beneath the joy lurked the undercurrents of my past, ebbing and flowing like tides I couldn't outrun. Therapy sessions twice a week became my lifeline. Dr. Rivera no-nonsense Latino with eyes that saw through facades, gently prodding the wounds I'd bandaged hastily. "Timothy, acceptance isn't a destination," she'd say, her voice steady as a metronome. "It's the daily choice to show up. Scars and all." I'd nod, gripping the armrest, recounting the microaggressions at work, a colleague's offhand, "You Omegas get all the perks now." Huh. Or the landlord's sidelong glance when my heat cycle coincided with rent due. Elias listened without judgment during our evening debriefs. His response is simple but seismic: "You're enough." And if they can't see it, we walk. One crisp October afternoon, as leaves carpeted Prospect Park, crisis knocked uninvited. My sister, Clara, called from Ohio, voice edged with urgency. "Dad's sick. Cancer. He wants to see you." "And the baby?" The words landed like frost, numbing the warmth of Liam's chubby fist around my finger. Elias found me on the kitchen floor, phone limp in my hand, tears carving silent paths. "Hey," he murmured, kneeling to gather me close, his chest a harbor against the storm. "You don't owe him anything. But if you want to go, I'm there. Every step." The decision simmered for days, a pot on low boil. Nightmares revisited, my father's rage, the slam of the screen door as I fled at 18, duffel slung over shoulder, bus ticket to freedom clutched like a talisman. But Liam's innocent gaze, those blue eyes mirroring Elias, stirred something paternal, a legacy I refused to let poison. "For him," I told Elias finally, voice resolute. "To show our son forgiveness isn't weakness." We packed the truck, Liam babbling from his car seat, oblivious to the freight of history. The drive to Ohio stretched eternal, golden fields blurring into memories. Elias's hand on my thigh was a constant anchor, his stories of his own father's passing heart attack at 45, leaving blueprints unfinished, a bridge over my isolation. "Grief's a builder too," he said, eyes on the road. "It shapes what comes next." Clara met us at the farm, her hug fierce, lines of apology etched in her face. "He's changed, Timmy. We're trying to." The house smelled of liniment and regret. My father frail in his recliner, oxygen tube a serpent at his nose. "Dad," I said, throat tight. Liam balanced on my hip. His eyes, once thunder, now flickered with frailty as they landed on his grandson. "Timothy." The name hung, heavy with unsaid sorries. He reached out, gnarled hand trembling, and Liam, fearless as dawn, grasped his finger. In that clasp, time folded, boy to man, wound to whisper. Dad's confession came halting, pride's poison, fear of a world shifting under him. "I was wrong. Raised you to hide. But you bloomed anyway." Tears tracked his cheeks, mirroring mine. Elias stood sentinel by the door, his nod a silent, "Well done." Healing wasn't linear. Barbs lingered in small talk, silences thick as fog. But over dinners of Clara's pot roast, with Liam's giggles punctuating the air, fractures mended. Dad's final weeks were a vigil of stories, his own hidden youth, a crush on the mill hand never voiced, and legacies past, his old pocket watch to Elias, a sketchbook to me. When he slipped away under a harvest moon, peace clung like dew. At the graveside, Elias's arm around me, I whispered to the wind, "Rest now. We're free." Returning to New York felt like rebirth. the skyline a beacon rather than a blade. Liam's first steps echoed in our brownstone, each wobble of victory over inertia. Elias surprised me with a studio spacea converted garage behind a friend's shop, walls lined with easels, light flooding like grace. "Create from here," he said, kissing my paint-flecked knuckles. My work flourished. Illustrations for LGBTQ plus youth books. Portraits capturing the quiet revolutions of coming out. One piece, Roots and Wings, depicted a young Omega unfurling amid thorns, a bestseller in indie circles. Its proceeds funding a scholarship for rural queer kids. But expansion brought its tempests. Elias's crew landed a big contract restoring a historic Brooklyn brownstone, and long hours frayed our seams. Irritations bloomed, my resentment at solo bedtime routines, his frustration at my withdrawal into work. One snow-lashed night, after Liam's fever spiked and Elias arrived late from the site, words erupted. "I can't do this alone," I shouted, voice cracking in the dim living room. He recoiled, exhaustion carving hollows under his eyes. "I'm trying, Tim. But you shut me out like I'm the enemy." The silence that followed was a chasm, wider than any we'd bridged. We slept apart, the bed a cold expanse, Liam's monitor our only tether. Morning brought regret. Elias's note on the counter, "Coffee's hot. Let's talk tonight. I love you, flaws and all." Dr. Rivera mediated over video, unpacking the patterns, my flight response, his fixer instincts clashing. "Vulnerability is the mortar," she urged. That evening, over takeout and Liam's crayons scattered like confetti, we laid bare the fear's mine of abandonment, his of inadequacy. Laughter crept in, tentative, as Elias mimicked his boss's gruff pep talks. "We're a team. Hayes Grant Edition. Indestructible." Spring heralded renewal, Liam's second birthday. A park picnic with rainbow balloons and Elias's lopsided cake. Friends gathered, our queer found family. A mosaic of alphas, omegas, betas who'd walked similar fires. Toasts rang with tales of resilience. And as Liam smeared frosting on my cheek, I felt the depth of our village, the human web that caught us when we stumbled. Yet life's script twisted anew when Elias's past surfaced. An ex, Marcus, a beta architect from his college days, emailing blueprints for the brownstone project. Jealousy flared. Irrational but insistent Marcus, who'd left Elias for stability, now circling like a shadow. "He's just professional," Elias assured. But doubt not. I confronted it head on, over a rare date night at our old bar. "I trust you," I said, clinking glasses. "But tell me if ghosts knock." His honesty disarmed. "They do. But you're my home." Marcus faded to footnotes, our bond fortified. Summer swelled Liam's world preschool applications. My first gallery showing. Elias built a treehouse in the yard. Hammer strikes a rhythm of provision. One twilight, as fireflies danced, he pulled me onto the unfinished platform. "Remember that rooftop?" he murmured, stars pricking the sky. One night that changed everything. Our kiss was slow, seasoned with years of vow renewed. By fall, Liam's questions bloomed. "Why do some daddies have sense like yours, Daddy Tim?" We answered with books and honesty, planting seeds of pride. My father's watch ticked on Elias's wrist during parent-teacher nights, a talisman of mended lines. In quiet moments, tracing Liam's sleeping form, I'd marvel at the arc, from runaway to rooted, terror to tenderness. Our story wasn't flawless, but it was ours, a testament to love's labor, the human heart's unyielding bend toward light. Autumn's palette painted our lives in golds and crimsons, but beneath the beauty, the underbelly of doubt stirred once more. Liam's preschool enrollment unearthed old Fisher's forms demanding biological parent checkboxes. Teachers with smiles too tight when I explained our family. Two dads. That's modern, one said, her tone a velvet glove over steel. Elias bristled at pickup, his alpha protectiveness a low rumble. But I waved it off, masking the sting with jokes. Inside, it festered. Was I enough? Would Liam inherit my shadows? The whispers of not normal. Elias sensed the shift, as he always did, cornering me in the garage amid sawdust motes. Talk, he commanded gently. Tools down. Eyes searching. I crumbled, spilling the insecurities like spilled paint. What if they see him as broken because of me? Like I was. His embrace was iron and velvet. Voice a anchor, our boys whole. Because we are together. That night, we attended a queer family meetup in Williamsburg. A circle of parents sharing war stories over cider. Laughter mingled with tears. Bonds forming like constellations. Liam chased a beta kid with a soccer ball. Carefree. And I exhaled. Community wasn't just safety. It was strength. Winter brought Elias's milestone, the brownstone restoration complete. A gala unveiling with city councilors toasting his craftsmanship. I watched him shine. Suit tailored sharp. Liam perched on his hip, waving a tiny hard hat. Pride swelled. But so did a whisper of envy, his world expanding while mine plateaued. Freelance gigs steady but stagnant. You're brilliant, he said later, toasting with eggnog. But if you want more. The seed took root. I pitched a children's book series, Firefly Families, Tales of Diverse Kinships. Omega leads unapologetic. Publishers bit. Deadline's exhilarating grind. But joy's shadow is grief's echo. Clara called in January. Mom's gone. Heart attack. Funerals Friday. The news hollowed me. A echo of dads passing too fresh. Elias canceled jobs, bundling us into the truck. Liam bundled in blankets. Ohio's snow muffled the world. The service a blur of hymns and handshakes. Mom's eulogy fell to mute words I'd rehearsed in mirrors, her quiet rebellions. The garden she tended like secrets. The letter she'd slipped me years ago. Unread until now. I failed you. But I loved you always. Sobs racked me at the pulpit. Elias's hand on my back a lifeline. Liam, sensing the tide, toddled to my feet. Hugging my leg, Daddy sad. Hug fix. In his purity. Healing glimpsed. Back home. Renewal stirred. Valentine's dawned with Elias's surprise, a weekend at a Catskills cabin. Liam with Clara for a sleepover. Snow blanketed the woods. Fire crackling as we slow danced to crackly radio tunes. 5 years since that night. He murmured. Forehead to mine. Best chase of my life. We made love tender. Reaffirming not as conquest, but communion. Bodies maps of shared miles. Morning brought sledding. Laughter echoing like bells. Liam's visit a flurry of tales upon return. Spring's thaw mirrored my book's launch. Firefly Families hit shelves. Readings packed with wide-eyed kids and teary parents. Elias beamed from back rows. Liam clutching his copy like treasure. Royalties funded a college fund. But Moria Scholarship in Mom's name for queer youth in Ohio. Letters poured in. Your story gave me courage. Each one a brick in my foundation. Proving words could mend what fists had broken. Yet trials tempered triumph. Liam's first feverish night at preschool led to a hospital-RSV. The doctor said, monitors beeping like accusations. Elias paced the ER hall. I held our son's hand, whispering Firefly rhymes. He's tough, the nurse assured. But fear lingered. What if we weren't enough? Discharge brought homebound days. Elias taking leave. Me shelving deadlines. In that cocoon, intimacy deepened storytime trios. Fort-building marathons. We're unbreakable. Elias vowed one midnight. As Liam snored between us. Summer sizzled with adventure. A road trip to Niagara Falls. Rainbows arcing mist as Liam splashed in shallows. Elias taught him hammer swings on driftwood. I sketched the trio against Cascadesa family portrait etched in memory. Back in Queens, community bloomed. Block parties where neighbors shared grills and grievances. Our brownstone a hub for story swaps. One evening, a young Omega neighbor knocked. Eyes downcast. Heard your book. Needed to talk. Over tea. She shared her closet's weight. Elias fixed her leaky sink while I listened. You're not alone, I said, echoing ghosts who'd saved me. Fall circled back. Liam's third birthday, a harvest feast pumpkin carving. Elias's pie a gooey triumph. But whispers of change rustled. Elias's crew-eyed expansion. A bid for a Manhattan firm. It means travel. He confessed. Brow furrowed. Anxiety knotted my gut echoes of abandonment. We'll make it work. I insisted, though nights spun scenarios of solo parenting. We compromised. Bi-weekly check-ins. Video calls with Liam's crayon art as backdrop. His first trip to Chicago tested his empty bed. My sketches frantic, but his return. Arms laden with mini hard hats. Sealed it. Missed my boys. Winter whispered of legacies. Dad's watch. Repaired by Elias. Now ticked on Liam's wrist during Hanukkah lights our blended writes a mosaic. A letter from Ohio arrived. The scholarship's first recipient. A trans kid beaming in photo. Tears fell as I framed it. Elias hugging from behind. Your light's spreading. Liam's questions evolved. Daddy, Eli. Why do you smell like woods? Elias knelt. Honest. It's how alphas love strong and steady. Like you. Pride swelled. Our boy absorbing without fracture. By spring's cusp. Liam's preschool play the little Omega who could cast him as hero. His lines delivered with gusto. Backstage. Elias wiped proud tears. I captured the bow on film. Our 5th anniversary dawned with a vow renewal in Central Park Simple. Sundappled. Friends as witnesses. From run to root. Elias pledged. Ring glinting. Always chasing you home. Life's we've tightened. Threads of trial and tenderness interlacing. In quiet eves. Liam asleep. We'd trace tattoos mine a firefly on rib. His a hammer crossed with brush symbols of our forge. From that airport call, we'd built not just a home, but a haven, proof that love, in its raw humanity, redeems the runaways. Turning flight to flights and embrace. Summer's heat wave baked the city into a simmer, mirroring the slow burn of contentment in our lives. Liam's days filled with splash pads and sidewalk chalk masterpieces. His laughter a soundtrack to our rhythm. Elias's firm stabilized. The travel paired to overnights. Each return a mini homecoming with bear hugs and daddy stories. My book series expanded Volume 2. Wings of Wonder. Delving into blended family signings blending with playdates. One afternoon in Bryant Park. Amid picnickers. A fan approached, an Omega dad. Book tucked under arm. Your words. They named my silence. His hug lingered. A ripple of impact I'd sown unwittingly. But ripples can churn to waves. Elias's mother. Long estranged after his coming out at 22-inch my boy's not like that, reached out via Clara. Post Liam's photos on social media. She wants to meet her grandson. Clara relayed. Tone cautious. Elias's face shuddered. Old wounds raw. She chose denial over me. Nights followed of terse silences. His hammer strikes sharper in the garage. I mediated gently. Dr. Rivera's tools in hand. Boundaries. Not walls. We crafted a letter measured. Open inviting a coffee meet. Neutral ground. The cafe in Midtown hummed with anonymity. Liam munching apple slices as grand-silver-haired Evelyn arrived. Eyes wide at her son's frame. Awkwardness crackled like static, small talk of weather. Then the dam. I was scared, she admitted, voice quavering. Lost your father young. Thought tradition would save us. Elias's jaw tightened. But Liam's high lady bridged the gap, her tentative pat evolving to coos. No fairy tale mending tears. Apologies. A promise of letters, but a door cracked. Driving home, Elias exhaled. For him. Maybe. Liam chattered of nice grandma. Innocence a solvent. Fall ushered Liam into kindergarten. Uniforms crisp. Backpack comically large. Drop-off tears were mine. Elias's steady grip my buoy. He's ready. Like you were. School nights birthed routines, homework huddles. My illustrations animating history lessons. But peer dynamics surfaced. Liam's offhand. My daddies are special. Met with the classmates. My mommy says 2 dads is weird. Heart sank at his recount. Elias and I conferring over wine. Truth without shame. We hosted a family night at school. Books and cookies. Normalizing our mosaic. Whispers faded. Liam's confidence a beacon. Winter's chill brought opportunity. A TEDx invite for my talk on queer legacies, from silence to stories. Stage fright gnawed spotlights as interrogators, but Elias rehearsed me relentlessly. Liam cheering go. Daddy Tim. The Brooklyn theater pulsed with faces like mine. My voice steadying. I ran from love once, fearing it would break me. But it built Mainto a father. A creator. A man unapologetic. Applause thundered. Q&A a catharsis. Backstage. Elias crushed me in embrace. You slayed. Firefly. The video went viral in niche circles. Invitations flooding proof visibility's power. Yet visibility invites scrutiny. Online trolls surfaced faceless barbs, pushing agenda on kids. Sleep evaded. Doubt's old friend. Elias monitored comments. Deleting venom. But one night, after a particularly vicious thread, I lashed. Maybe they're right. Am I forcing this? His response was fire. No. You're lighting paths we never had. We leaned on community, a support circle where parents vented similar storms. Laughter over troll bingo defanged fear. Resilience communal. Spring bloomed with Liam's school play him as a brave explorer. Lines memorized with flair. Rehearsals overlapped my book tour. Mini jaunts to Boston. Philly. Elias solo parented seamlessly. Nightly FaceTimes our thread. Miss your voice. He'd say. Liam waving props. Returns were feasts his gumbo. My tales. One Philly night. Hotel solitude stirred longing. I sketched our trio. Homesick ache fueling verses for a new project. A graphic novel of our airport serendipity. Summer vacation whisked us to the K-printed cottage by the sea. Waves crashing like applause. Liam built sandcastles. Elias taught boogie boarding. I chronicled in watercolors. Bonfires birthed ghost stories. His arm around me as stars wheeled. 10 years this fall. He noted one dawn. Surf lapping toes. From mystery to morning. Our kiss salted with ocean. Timeless. But tempests brew unseen. Elias's firm hit turbulency, a client dispute. Funds frozen. Layoffs looming. Stress etched his face. Snaps fraying patience. It's just money. I'd soothe. But anxiety mirrored, bills stacking. Tour income spotty. One stormy eve. Argument ignited over budgets. We can't afford whims. He barked. I retreated to studio. Brushes furious. Don brought his coffee. Note, sorry. Scared. Not mad. Team. Rebuild over pancakes. Plans hatched me advance cushioning. His side gigs and woodworking. Fall's harvest yielded bounty. Liam's first lost tooth. Tooth Fairy's debut, a pillow heist. Evelyn visited awkward coffees evolving to park outings. Her knitting for Liam a quiet amends. My graphic novel pitched successfully. Run to Root. A queer romance with heart. Collaborations buzzed. Elias carving props for mock-ups. Winter wrapped us in Light's holiday market strolls. Liam's odd ice skaters. A neighbor's coming out party teen son. Trembling pride drew us in. Our presence a silent vote. You give me hope. The boy said later. Elias's grin, paying forward. By spring's renewal. Liam's friendships flower diverse, crew mirroring our world. School science fair, his volcano model. Elias's engineering touch. My labels. First place ribbon. Hugs triumphant. Our anniversary 11 years rooftop picnic. City sprawl below. Chased you once. Elias toasted. Now. I'd follow anywhere. Life's cadence quickened. Harmonies of hardship and harmony. In Liam's bedtime please, one more story. Daddy Tim, I wove our tale. The alpha who called my name. The omega who stayed. From fractured flight to fortified family. We'd authored redemption not perfection. But profound, love's quiet revolution. Etching eternity in everyday grace. The cusp of another summer found us teetering on expansion's edge. The air thick with possibility and its precarious undercurrents. Liam's kindergarten year wrapped with a flourish report card glowing. Teacher notes praising his empathetic spirit, but whispers of transition loomed. First grade meant bigger school. Broader world. Elias and I debated districts over kitchen maps. His pencil tracing commutes. My concerns on diversity metrics. He's thriving. Elias assured. But my omega intuition hummed caution society's subtle sieves waiting to snag. My graphic novel. Run to Root. Hit pre-order charts. Buzz from queer lit festivals pulling me to panels in San Francisco. Atlanta. Elias championed. Organizing Liam's schedules with military precision. But the first trip 3 days in SFO-tested seams. Airport goodbyes tugged. Liam's clingy comeback soon. Elias's kiss lingering. Hotel nights. I'd video call. Their faces pixel bright. We built a fort. Your turn to guard. Homesickness sharpened my pitch raw. Resonant turning a publisher's nod for sequels. Return brought airport reunion. Liam's sprint into arms a bomb. Fall unfurled with first grade jitters. New backpack. Crisp sneakers. Elias tying laces while I packed lunches with notes. You're a star. Kiddo. Drop-off crowds swallowed him. His wave brave, but small. Pickup tails tumbled. Met a kid with 2 moms. Like us. But with cats. Relief washed. But soon. Playground politics, surfacida bullies taunt. Your dads are gay OS. Twisting Liam's brow. Heart clenched at his recount. Elias's fists balling. We teach response. Not reaction. I urged. Scripting role plays. My family loves big wanna see my volcano. Humor disarmed. But vigilance etched deeper parenting's eternal watch. Elias's mother. Evelyn. Wove tentative threads, monthly brunches. Her stories of youth a hidden romance with a neighbor girl unspoiling regrets. I see you in him. She told Elias. Nodding to Liam's block towers. Forgiveness flowered slowly. A shared Thanksgiving at our table, her first turkey carved. Toast tentative. Liam's gran. Build with me. Bridged generations. Her laughter a novel sound. Winter's grip tightened with my book's release party loft in Soho. Crowd eclectic. Authors. Activists. Fans clutching arcs. Elias in vest and tie. Liam in mini suit. Circulated like prose. Readings drew cheers. Signings stretched late. One teen's this saved me a crown. But post-glitz crash hit. Reviews mixed. A conservative outlet dubbing it propaganda light. Trolls amplified. Inbox venom. Elias fielded calls. I journaled fury into sketches defiance as art. Community rallied. Book club defenses. Podcast invites. Noise of the narrow. Dr. Rivera framed. Resilience. Refined. Spring sparked Liam's soccer league tiny cleats. Enthusiastic fouls. Elias coached sidelines. I chronicled goals and comics. Team barbecues blended families. Our story normalized in potluck chats. One dad's confession, struggling with my omega teen, sparked coffees. Mentorship mutual. Elias's firm rebounded. A green build contract for eco-homes, aligning passions. Late nights. He'd sketch blueprints. I'd ink panels beside. Synergy silent. But equilibrium quakes. A freelance drought hit publisher's cautious post-boom while Elias's project delayed. Rain's rotting beams. Bills nipped. Date nights swapped for coupons. Tension simmered, my withdrawal to studio. His overtime grinds. One drizzly dusk. Clash erupted over forgotten soccer gear. You're checked out. He accused. And you're a ghost. I fired. Storm raged. Liam's door creaked, halting Ushy's teary, stop fighting. Gut punch. Ceasefire instant. Bedtime, a trio huddle. Apologies whispered. Morning therapy, unpacking overload's toll. Pause together. Elias vowed. Instituting Unplug Eve's board games. No screens. Summer salvaged with a cross-country loop, Grand Canyon vistas. Liam's odd echoes. Route 66 kitsch. Neon-lit sing-alongs. Elias drove. Windows down. My playlist shuffling our anthems from that bar's playlist to Liam's nursery rhymes. Campfires birth dreams, someday. A bigger yard. Elias mused. Stops at queer landmark Stonewall echoes. Harvey Milk strides wove history into heirlooms. Liam absorbed. We fight for fair. Right, daddies? Fall's return packed energy. Liam's school project on family trees. His drawing a sprawling oak roots in Ohio. Branches Brooklyn. Us at trunk. Teacher's praise. Unique perspective. My sequel deal landed. Echoes of embrace. Delving Omega Alpha's bonds. Tours balanced with school. Elias's flexibility key. Evelyn's birthday gift, a quilt stitched with family photos cemented her arc. Liam's hugs her reward. Winter holidays layered magic. Hanukkah gelt hunts. Christmas tree trims with dad's ornaments. A neighborhood secret Santa swapped stories. Our card, grateful for growth, tucked in. Liam's flu sidelined us. But snuggle marathons forged closeness. Elias's soup's legendary. Spring's thaw brought Liam's dental right cavity fill. Bravery stickers earned. My panel at a youth conference, teens' eyes alight. Questions probing. How'd you stop running? One asked. By standing still with someone who saw me. I answered. Elias's text buzzing. Proud. Home with pizza. Summer circled. Liam's league championship, a muddy win. Trophy clutched. Post-game ice cream. Elias's arms slung casual. Team Grant Hayes, unbeatable. Our 12th anniversary rooftop redux. City hum below. From call to call. He toasted. Your name my compass. Threads intertwined tighter. Trials tempering tenacity. In Liam's evolving queries, why do some families hide? We planted truths, love's loudest when shared. From airport's echo to this anchored now. Our narrative pulsed human flawed. Fierce. A beacon for the broken, redemption not an erasure. But embrace. Life's plot twisting toward collective dawn. As summer's zenith peaked. Our world tilted toward the profound shift of Liam's seventh-year threshold, where innocence frays at curiosity's edge. School supply runs brimmed with chatter of big kid classes. His excitement laced with nerves over multiplication monsters. Elias and I tag-teamed prep. His fort building for math drills. My illustrated cheat sheets turning dread to delight. Drop-off evolved to waves from afar. Independence budding like the backyard sunflowers. Liam tended miracle of nurture amid concrete. My echoes of embrace, manuscript devoured days. Deadlines a double-edged blade, creative fire stoked. Sleep pilfered. Elias adapted. Mornings with coffee runs. Evenings with foot rubs. But fatigue frayed filters. One launch call. Editor's nitpick ignited snap. Can't you see I'm buried? Elias retreated. Hurt flickering. Regret swift. Apology over takeout. Pressure's not permission. His grace, we ebb. We flow. Rebalanced. Chapters flowed freer. His beta reads gold. Fall foliage framed family flux, Liam's bestie. Jamala beta boy with infectious grin invited sleepovers. First overnighter, a milestone. Elias paced pre-drop. I packed care kits with notes. Pickup dawn. Liam's tales tumbled. We told ghost stories. Jamal says his dads fight too. But hug after. Wisdom in miniature. Prompting our fight fair, refreshers timeouts. I statements. Elias's laugh. Kids are guru. Evelyn's integration deepened. Weekly calls. Her volunteering at Liam's library story hour. One crisp outing. Leaves crunching. She shared faded photos Elias toddler. Mischified. You were my light. Even then. His nod. Throat tight. Now we share it. Liam's grand story. Bridged. Her folktales a new lore. Winter's Hush hosted my book's release virtual launch pandemic-proofed. Chat's buzzing. Fans shares trended echoes embrace. A trans influencer's review. This is my mirror. Joy crested. But shadow loomed. School lockdown drill. Liam's wide-eyed recount of bad guys hiding. Nightmares followed. His burrow into our bed a plea. We consulted counselors' age-appropriate talks. Safety songs. Elias built a worry box. Notes burned in fire pit rituals. Feel it. Then free it. I added. Drawings of dragons slain. Spring surged with Liam's Science Expo Solar System mobile. Elias's wireframe aid. My painted planets. Judge's awe. Imaginative engineering. Trophy gleam matched his. My tour kicked off hybrid hops to D. C. Virtual to L. A. Elias masterminding logistics. Liam's brave traveler badges sent. A. D. C. Panel on queer parenting Drew activists. My airport anecdote landing laughs. Tears. Q&A vulnerability. Running taught me roots worth. But roots strain. Elias's firm bid a major contract rooftop gardens for high-rises demanding site visits. Overnight stacking. My tour overlapped. A week apart testing. Video lulls strained. Liam's when home. Tugs. Elias's fatigue-veiled quips. Clash brewed mid-call. You're gone more than here. Supporting our dreams. Ceasefire via text therapy. Miss the us. Reunion airport Liam's sign Daddy's home. Melted remnants. Pizza debrief dissolving dross. Summer's respite. Adirondacks cabin. Lakeside loons calling. Canoe paddles. Elias's strokes syncopated with mine. Liam's splashes symphony. Fireside. Esmore sticky. He queried, Daddies. How'd you meet? Our edited for 7 tale, magic night. Airport chase. Love's adventure. His eyes saucer wide, like fairy tale. Truth layered gently. Magic and metaphor. Falls fervor. Liam's historical reenactment Harriet Tubman. Cape fluttering. Rehearsals honed empathy. His freedom fighter zeal infectious. My sequel edits finalized. Cover reveal a family vote firefly motif wins. Evelyn's quilt expanded. Liam's patch a rocket. To the stars. Gran. Winter wrapped in wonder. Kwanzaa Kinera with Jamal's family. Unity candles lit. Liam's piano lessons debut choppy scales. Elias's off-key duets. Holiday cards featured our trio in snow. Caption, building dreams. One note at a time. A curveball curved. Liam's ear infection. Antibiotics round. But fever dreams unearthed my old phobia's hospital shadows. Elias anchored. Story marathons through nights. Recovery picnic. Cherry blossoms framing. He decreed, health heroes. All. Spring's bloom heralded Liam's baptism into Scouts trail hikes. Not tying. Elias Den leader. I merit badge illustrator. Camp out inaugural, tint tails under stars. Liam's owl hoot attempts hilarity. My conference keynote TD Center. Stories as survival, teens hugs fuel. Summer looped to beaches. Boogie boards evolved to surf lessons. Elias's balance. Liam's wipeouts. My cheers. Anniversary 13 beach bonfire. Waves whispering vows renewed. From stranger to soul. Elias etched in sand. Cadence crested. Complexities crafting character. Liam's why different families. Met maps of love spectrum. In his growth. Ours mirrored from fledgling flight to flourishing fold. Narrative a novel of nuance, humanity's heart. Healing in harmony. Horizons ever unfolding. The wheel turned to Liam's eighth autumn. Leaves a kaleidoscope of change as school swelled his social sphere clubs. Crushes. The alchemy of adolescence peaking early. Chess club hooked him. Night maneuvers mirroring Elias's strategic bids. I crafted custom boards. Inlays of walnut and maple his tournament talisman. Parent nights unveiled alliances Jamal's crew expanding. Diverse as our burrow. But undercurrents coursed. A classmate's gay family graffiti on his locker. Casual cruelty. Liam shrugged it off, silly squiggles, but Elias's jaw set. My gut twisted. We looped in principle. Workshop on inclusivity birthed. Our voices amplifying. My writing career crested. Echoes shortlisted for Lambda Award. Galas in L. A. Beckoning. Elias cleared calendars. Liam's fancy dress. Excitement prep. Red carpet, nerves jangled flashes. Speeches but when clutched. Dedication. To the chasers and the chased Elias. Liam. My anchors. Telecast cheers echoed home. Their banner waving via stream. Post-glow. Backlash brewed up head slams, normalizing abnormality. Elias curated feeds. I channeled ire into essays. Normal is narrative you rewrite. Winters weave tightened family ties. Evelyn's relocation to Brooklyn assisted living. Proximity a gift. Holiday baking marathons. Her thumbprint cookies Liam's legacy link. One eve. Overlax. She confessed, Pride March this spring join me. Elias's nod tentative. Mine resolute. March day dawned vibrant banners billowing. Chance choral. Liam on shoulders. Rainbow face paint smudged. Absorbed, for love. Right. Evelyn's arm linked mine. Tears salting cheers redemption's rhythm. Spring surge. Liam's science fair evolution robot arm prototype. Elias's servo tweaks. My code sketches. Judges marveled. Interdisciplinary brilliance. Trophy parade home. Ice cream sundaes crowned. My panel circuit peaked university lecture. Queer narratives in youth lit. Students debates electric. Q&A pierced. How do you parent through prejudice? With honesty as armor. Community as shield. Tempest touched. Elias's contract snagged client bankruptcy. Payments iced. Firm teetered. His hours doubled troubleshooting. My royalties buffered. But strange showed snappish suppers. Skipped story times. Culmination one thunderous night. I feel like the fixer failing. He roared. Tools clattering. I met fire with calm. Our foundation cracks don't crumble. Storm broke in sobs. My hold is haven. Rebound. Financial planner consult. Side hustle Elias's Etsy carvings viral. Wood whispers. He quipped. Order stacking. Summer's solstice gifted getaway, Smoky Mountains. Zip lines zipping Liam's whoops. Trails tested. Bear spotting thrills. Cabin nights. Banjo strums by Elias. My harmony's harmony. Liam's journal entry read aloud. Adventure with Daddy's best ever. Echoed our ethos. Exploration internal. External. False fanfare. Liam's theater debut, Wizard of Oz. Scarecrow's straw-stuffed strut stealing scenes. Rehearsals overlapped my book tour finale Chicago. Whirlwind. Elias solo shown. Video bows beaming. Opening night. Bouquet toss. His curtain call bow to us, hearts full. Winter's warmth, piano recital. Liam's heart and soul, duet with neighbor girl. Sparks of young crush innocent. Holiday lights tour. Evelyn's tails twinkling. A flu wave sidelined. But board game quarantines bonded. Monopoly moguls we. Spring spark, Scouts jamboree not relays. Fire starting. Liam's merit, artist. My genes proud. Conference rap keynote at Pride Youth Camp. Campers, thank you, fireside circles cathartic. Your run inspired my stand. One shared. Summer cycled to shores. Surf camps for Liam. Beach reads for me. Elias's paddleboard prowess. Tandem tours. Anniversary 14 sunset sail. Vows voice to gulls, Soul's harbor. Always. Tides turned tender. Tribulations tempering tenacity. Liam's difference is cool mantra. Gleaned from our lives. In his widening world. Ours deepened from serendipity's spark to symphony's swell. Story a saga of soul, love's lexicon. Lettering legacies of light. Luminous and lasting. Ninth spring bloomed with Liam's leap into middle school's mall lockers. Lunchroom labyrinths. The gauntlet of growth. Orientation overwhelmed. His backpack bloated with binders. Elias quizzed locker combos. I labeled folders with doodles. First week woes. Too many rules. He griped. But friendship's flower chess team captaincy. Debate club quips sharp. Parent portal updates became rituals. Pride in his most improved speaker nod. My oeuvre expanded, graphic novel trilogy greenlit. Roots renewed. Arcs of intergenerational queer kin. Collaborations with Illustrators International. Deadlines danced with school runs. Elias's firm flourished post-crisis rooftop series contracted. His designs in architecture mags. Green Guardian. Liam teased. Mini models his playthings. Summer's interlude. Europe whisper budget stretched for Paris. Art haunts my pilgrimage. Eiffel twinkles. Croissants crumbling. Liam's French fireflies. Whimsy. Louvre sketches. Saint strolls. Elias's crepe flips fiasco fun. Hostile tales. Family Ford in France. Falls Forge. Liam's debate tourney topic. Family diversity in media. His rebuttals riveting. When plaque. Our cheers loudest. Evelyn's memoir circle joined. Her, late bloomer, essays cathartic. One reading. Her voice steady. Love waited now it leads. Winter's whisper. Piano ensemble. Liam's concerto snippet solo. Holiday fusion solstice esmores. New Year's resolutions kid-led. More forts. Flu dodged. Vaccine vigils communal. Spring's symphony. Scouts Eagle Project Community Garden. Elias's trellises. My murals. Groundbreaking. Neighbors' shovels sink. My trilogy teaser trailer drops. Fan art floods. Tempest tease. Liam's first crush beta girl. Notes passed. Blushes blooming. How do you know? He probed. Elias's gut and grace. My honest heart. Guidance gentle. Her reciprocation sweet school dance invite. Tux fittings tear jerk. Summer's soar. Cape return. Whale watches wondrous. Anniversary 15 lighthouse lunch. Beacons our bond. Lighted path. My love. 10th year dawned. Liam's tween terrain navigated hormones hinting. Identity inklings. Chess nationals. Silver shine. My trilogy launch global tour. Virtual vignettes. Elias's TED Talk. Building beyond brick sustainable souls. Legacy layered. Ohio scholarships swell. Named dual parents honors. Evelyn's Pride Parade Grand Marshal Nod. Our Banner Brigade. Winter's Weave Orchestra Concert. Liam's Violin Viable. Holidays Hybrid Virtual Kin. In-person kin. Spring's Stride Garden Harvest. Feast Communal. Debate States Champion Crown. Summer's Summit. Road Trip Redux Yellowstone Geysers. Geothermal Gasp. Anniversary 16 Geyser Gaze. Eternal Erupt. Our Love. 11th Echo. Middle School Musical Rent Nod. Liam Ensemble. My Finale Book Bestseller Badge. Legacy Loops. Liam's Why Right. Query Met. To echo us for them. His journal. Daddy's Stormy Superpower. From dawn's desperate call to dusk's devoted dance. Our chronicle Cress Schumann hymn of healing. Horizon's hope handwritten. Hearts forever hitched.